6:42. For decades now, the federal government has enforced strict rules about contaminants in our drinking water.
Yeah, but some environmentalists say those regulations don't go far enough to protect your health. And with more on that, here is 7 on Your Side investigative reporter Danielle Lee.
Good morning, guys. You know, there are 2 standards that are set when it comes to water quality. There are the standards the federal government sets to protect public health. And then there's an even higher bar for contaminants set by some environmental scientists, which they say eliminates any risk of a negative health effect. And we took a look at both. When we turn on our faucets, most of us count on our water to be clean, which is why claims by one DC-based environmental group are so startling. The Environmental Working Group identified chemicals in the water we drink within the legal limits set by the federal government, but exponentially higher than the levels recommended by some environmental scientists to prevent health risks like cancer. Chemicals like trihalomethanes, radium, and arsenic. The contaminants come from various sources, including agriculture, manufacturing, and the very chemicals used to clean the water we drink.
Just because it's legal doesn't necessarily mean that it's safe.
Alexis Timken is a toxicologist at EWG.
Our guidelines are based on really what carries no level of risk.
The EWG put their findings in a searchable database. Type in your zip code and get a look at your water utility's health score. We asked people in one Westchester County coffee shop to try it out.
Well, ultimately, your kids are drinking this water, you're drinking this water.
A spokesperson for the Environmental Protection Agency said people in the tri-state shouldn't worry, saying in a statement, protecting America's drinking water is a top priority for the EPA. And the Westchester County Health Commissioner backed up the government's standards.
Our water is as safe as it can possibly be made at this point in time.
But for some residents, this database gives them reason to rethink the water they drink.
What could be the potential harm to our health?
Water utilities are required to notify customers whenever a violation of federal standards is detected. We have a link on our website to both the EWG's findings and also the EPA's latest enforcement history so that you can compare for yourself. And if you're concerned, you can always consider a water filter. But it is important to make sure that that filter will actually eliminate the specific chemical you are worried about.
In tonight's Health Smart, new water concerns. Researchers say nearly half the tap water in the United States contains forever chemicals known as PFAs. They're a group of synthetic chemicals found in many cleaning products that linger in the environment and the human body. A new U.S. Geological Survey study discovered 45% of U.S. tap water contains forever chemicals, with the highest amounts in Central and Southern California. Exposure to PFAs is linked to problems like cancer, obesity, thyroid disease, high cholesterol, decreased fertility, liver damage, and hormone suppression.
The EPA standard requires water utilities to meet the new limit within 5 years in hopes of reducing exposure for 100 million people. A study in 2022 found that chemicals were much more dangerous than they originally thought. Unfortunately, exposure to these chemicals have been linked to birth defects, illnesses like cancer, and even death.
It's literally raining PFAS on us.
Fox 4 Investigates previously showed you the story of Stell Bailey, who grew up on the Space Coast.
I was diagnosed with cancer in 2013 alongside my little brother, our uncle who's not blood related, my father, and our family dog. So we all got cancer, boom, 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 in the same year.
Since then, she's worked to fight against toxic waste and PFAS chemicals. The Environmental Working Group says these numbers, while staggering, are only a fraction of the real number. They estimate as many as 200 million Americans are exposed to toxic forever chemicals in their drinking water.
Is there any at-home technology that the average person can use if they want to reduce their PFAS exposure, especially in their drinking water? I mean, can you use water filters and things like that?
Yeah, that's a really good question, and that's a question that a lot of different scientists studying PFAS removal and remediation get asked. There are some filters that you could buy at a grocery store, for example, that have carbon filters in them. Those do a decent job of filtering out some PFAS, but you have to be very good about changing out your filter. And for those who can afford it, reverse osmosis, such as under the sink or whole home reverse osmosis, can also be very good at filtering out many different PFAS.
Guys, after watching that video, how many of you would dare to do this? Very good. Why can I do that? Here's the reason why. Because of this amazing whole house system from Aquafil, my whole house is producing clean water. And under the sink, a reverse osmosis system that produces clean alkaline water right at your fingertips. So now I'm excited because at every tap in the house, I have clean, drinkable water. But wait, it wasn't always like this. Let me show you the results of what happened when I decided to get my water tested. I was literally shocked at the results of really what was in my water. So the gentleman came over, he did a quick test, and he told me that if I had contaminants or chemicals in my water, the water would cloud up in the test. And sure enough, guys, it was only after a few minutes that the water got cloudy. I started to see sediments in it. It was totally disgusting. And that's why, ladies and gentlemen, after seeing this, I decided to now get the incredible Aquafil system. So you're seeing the results afterward. Now that the system's connected into my entire home, I did the exact same test, and we let it stay in the test tube. And guess what? It did not cloud up. It did not have any sediments in it. And it sat there for a full 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes. And again, the water remained perfectly clean. That's why I highly encourage you to get your water tested now. Get back with the person that shared this video with you.